Hey everyone, this Millennial Investor here with my January update on my Roth and traditional IRA accounts. And I'm also going to be adding my 401k to this video series because I feel the accounts are very similar and it doesn't need a series on its own. So anyway, on my last video, I was at $8,600 in terms of purchases and a contribution of about $712 for the year. This year so far, I'm looking at 9,800 in purchases, so a purchase increase of about $1,200, and investment returns at $1,162. If I take that amount and I just focus it on my year to date, we're talking the last 23 days, I'm up $425. That means I'm up about, actually more than 50% of what I made last year in only 3 weeks. So the first 3 weeks, if this continued for another 3 weeks, I would be better than my entire portfolio did last year. So this past month has so far been great. Okay, let's take a look at the account activity. At the top here, I have my traditional, and over here I have my Roth IRA. My VFIFX is at 38.23, and that is up from 36.82, an increase of about $1.40. And my VWINX is from 26.84 over to 27.23. There has been no change in dividends or in share amount. So both of those remain the same, but just overall increases to the portfolio value. So my traditional is up $130, with my Roth being over double the earnings from my traditional. I also wanted to look at VFIFX and see exactly what it consisted of, because I know it was a large portion of stocks, and this is just a breakdown of this VFIFX fund if you are interested in it. But it's over 50% total stock market. So these aren't Admiral shares. I need to be at $10,000 before I can move into that account. But 53% stock market, and then 36% the international market, with about 10% being on bonds. So 90% of this is in stocks, which right now I feel is a really good time to be in stocks based on how well they're performing. And then 10% of that is in bonds, so a little bit more secure. So overall, my Roth and traditional IRA have been doing phenomenally well for the start of the year. Now I'm going to take us over to my principal account and my 401k, which I started last year in October. For those of you unfamiliar with Principal, it's like Fidelity or Scottrade or Vanguard. It's just another means of investing money, but this is through my employer. It's what they use, so I have to use it as well. It's this principal.com, and where I'm at right now with this account is right over here. So my 401k, it's currently sitting at $5,300, roughly, of which $4,000 was contributed last year and $1,200 have been new investments that I've made this year. I'm up 5.44% on this portfolio, and that is a gain of $239. What I do with this portfolio is I try and invest as much as I can into my 401k, because this is kind of a side job that I have, and everything that I invest, my employer matches 4%. So if I put $100 into my 401k, my employer is going to match that 4%, so $4, and then that $4 earns interest. So it's an easy, free 4% with no risk involved, and it helps to generate more money or more contributions. Here's a breakdown of my contributions. This is what I've contributed so far as of 1 of the 23, 2018, $5,084. And then my employer has contributed on my behalf an additional $220. With a 4% match on the maximum amount, I can make over $720 this year on just qualified contributions. You might also notice that my paychecks kind of vary for this. This is just a part-time job that I'm working on the weekends and from time to time on the weekdays. It pays decently well, but my hours based on my primary job fluctuate. So some weeks will be more money, some weeks will be less money, but I just try to come in and work whenever I'm available to work and I'm not too tired or exhausted for my other job. And it's been working out pretty well so far. If you're wondering what accounts I'm invested in right now, these are the four that I've decided to start with. At the start, I was just in the principal lifetime hybrid account, and I was just putting 100% in that. But then I did some research on the funds that were available to me, looking at things like expense ratio and the overall performance of the fund throughout the year. And I decided to kind of distribute some of my funds 10-20% depending on them into these other three. So BlackRock Mid Cap, BlackRock Russell 2000, and BlackRock EAFE Equity. So I looked at their past performance for the past year, and it seemed to be doing fairly well, so I decided to give it a shot. I believe I still have about 50% going into the hybrid, but I'm also putting in some additional funds into these. So these will take the other 50%. And even though this number is still greatly higher than these, over time it will equalize. So based on all of these, the hybrid account is still doing better than two of these mid caps, but this one over here is taking it or overtaking it, so it's at 6.12%. Okay, if I took that and I just broke it down into where my money is or where it's being invested, I have 57% balanced asset allocation, 25% in small mid US equity, and then 17% in international equity. Overall, really good, $239 in returns, 5.44% for only the first 3 weeks in January. So looking really forward to this year. I think it's going to be a great year, like I keep saying. So I'm going to continue to try to put as much money as possible into my retirement, into my Roth, into my traditional. Okay. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, this is the Millennial Investor signing out. Peace.